Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Wooed, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben. I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
I'm doing good. I saw Superman today, Ben.
Ooh,
Superman was a fun movie.
I saw it last night.
What did you think of Superman, Ben?
I thought it was really great.
I saw on Letterboxd you gave it 5 stars. So you like this movie way more than I do.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between like 4.5 and 5. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I really, really enjoyed it. I said, screw it, I'll do 5. And I've only rated like 10 things 5 stars.
Mm.
Two of those being, Doctor Who stories. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Not quite what I was expecting from James Gunn.
Yeah, but also
Uh,
there's James Gunn stuff in there.
oh, for sure. But it takes uh itself a little more seriously. It's funny, but it's not like quippy,
Yeah,
you know.
I wasn't. I like there's some guy in humor that I find kind of cringy. There's not a lot of cringe in this new Superman movie.
Oh no. And like I cried
No,
and
there's
it was
that moment. I assume. Well, I don't want to spoil it for people
okay. If
but
we
like toward
say
no,
spoilers,
like no, in non-spoiler terms, right before the third act. Is that where you cried, or did you cry at the end?
uh yeah, it would be right before the third act.
Yeah, so I knew the exact one.
I went with my father and he did
Mm,
too.
yeah, no, it's definitely one of those moments where where James Gunn knows how to pull at the heartstrings like that.
Oh
Like he
yeah.
does that in the Guardians movies. Like every single one has a moment. And that was the moment in Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, really I kind of want to rewatch it. I don't usually rewatch movies. It was really, really great. Um Sounds like you did not think it was 5 stars?
I thought like the third act is very big. It's
Yes.
very big, and I wish that there was like a. I just came off of rewatching the Superman 78, and like that movie felt so much smaller stakes. Even though that in that movie, like the whole entire West Coast is on the line. And of course, he
Mhm.
reverses the whole world, but like I don't know. This one is
Hey,
just
spoilers.
he has like three or four things going on in this third act in this movie. I would feel like he probably could have cut one or two of the the things from the third act, and it still would have worked.
Mhm.
It's a lot going on in that third act. And then I also just there was I wish that there was a little bit more just Lois and Clark because I thought that was some of the strongest stuff in the movie was their relationship and just the chemistry that the two actors had. And I feel like we didn't get a lot of that in this movie,
Yeah.
which is kind of what suffers from the. It was only 2 hours, which is one of the best things about it is that it knows that what it is, and like knows that a superhero movie like this shouldn't overstay its welcome, but
Yeah.
also because it has that limited time frame, we didn't get the lot of character moments between those two characters that I think I would have wanted more of just
Yeah.
because they were what we got were so good.
Yeah, if we had like another 20 minutes just to get more of that. I was thinking about it today. We don't really see like Clark at all.
No,
Like there's one scene in the Daily Planet and that's it. The rest he's
yeah,
Superman
but
or
like
slash Kal-El.
that's my problem with the movie is I wish that like we got more stuff like that. But like that's kind of like the premise of this movie. Like from the very onset, it's one of those movies that like we're going. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the way we're already he puts us right in the middle of the movie.
At the 60-second mark, Superman is on the brink of death.
Well, like yeah, like the literally the moment where another movie could have been the third act. It's
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie. Uh which I like that, but also in some ways I would have liked to see just more just more just with like yeah, like just more clock and lower scenes basically.
Yeah.
And more like Daily Bugle stuff would have been nice. But like I thought that the casting of the three main characters was great.
Yeah, though the 3 what's Superman actor's name?
David Cornsweet,
I was
Cornsweet,
blanking on the first name. Yeah, David
something
Cornsweet,
like that.
Nicholas Holt, and you know?
Brosnahan, it's like Rachel Brosnahan, I think? Brosnan? It's something like that.
Yeah, Rachel Brosnahan. Yeah, both all 3 of them I think were perfect casting.
Yeah. And I I liked how much of it is a comic book movie. It's not like a lot of times, like when like the 2000s and the early 2010s, it was like, no, we have to. It's the superheroes in our world, you know. While this
Yeah.
movie, it's like it's not trying to be. Oh, let's do the realistic take on Superman. No, it's a comic book movie's take on Superman. I appreciated that. It's
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I feel like the best way you can say about Superman is that like I felt like the first watching getting on the Batman. I felt like for the first time I was like, oh no, that was the best adaptation of reading a Batman comic book on the big screen. This felt very similar. Of like, no, this feels like I just read a Superman comic book,
Yeah.
which I hope that DC continues with that. But I don't know. The Lantern
It's a
show
strong
seems like it's
start,
gonna be
but, we'll
the
see.
Lantern show seems like it's gonna be much more realism and much more like a grown up adult take.
Well, yeah, I think that's kinda James Gunn's whole thing is he wants there to be, like, variety.
Yeah,
It's not all it's not all gonna be comic book movies. It's gonna be, like, Clayface is coming out, that's gonna be a body horror.
yeah.
Swamp Thing is gonna be a gothic horror. Sounds like, Supergirl is gonna be very different from Superman.
But I feel like the best way I would say is that like Marvel, just because compared to Marvel, where Marvel, it's very much has the same tone every movie. It's like it's the
Yeah,
Marvel tone. Where like I think DC is gonna be much more like a comic book, where like like Batman comic book and a Superman comic book are very two different things,
yeah,
just in tone and just and and exploring more characters like just giving Clayface like an R-rated horror movie sounds great. I'm excited for that.
yeah.
But anyways, this is not a DC comic book podcast, man.
Not yet. Today, we are talking about The Horns of Nimon, which was broadcast December 22nd, 1979 to January 12th, 1980. We're
Did you see
in
something interesting about
the
oh, yeah,
80s
yeah, sorry. You
officially.
know, no,
We're in the
you
80s
finish it
officially.
off. No, do I didn't give you a clean break. All right. Now,
We're in the 80s officially.
did you see something interesting about the ratings this episode, Ben?
I did not. Is the strike over?
So the strike is over. I think it's been over. But I found it interesting that the first part of this, which usually part ones do pretty good, part one of this got only 6 million viewers, which for this time period, when we're like, usually it's like, double digits or like at least 8 or 9 million. 6 million seems very low for this era of the show.
Yeah. I mean,
I
part 4 of Nightmare in Eden was 9.4.
Yeah, yeah, the
So where'd they all
huge change.
go?
I think probably part of it is probably just scheduling. Like maybe there must have been like a football game on ITV, or maybe there's something. Oh, December 22nd. So maybe there's something to do with the holidays in that date. Maybe there was something. Maybe there's something Christmas related on ITV that drew a lot of the people away from BBC to watch Doctor Who. I tried to look it up and I couldn't find anything.
I don't know.
Spoilers for the next era. The low viewing figures is going to be a common topic of conversation.
Mhm.
Man.
This is also, of course, on BBC One, and this was written by
Just waiting for the day, Ben, of you saying this was broadcast on
I know,
BBC
I
Two
gotta
or
set the
Three.
standard ahead of time. This was written by Anthony Reid, former script editor. Oh, he also, did The Invasion of Time with Graham Williams under the pseudonym David Agnew. So, second story he's written. Directed by Kenny McBain, which this is his only Doctor Who story. Produced by Graham Williams. Last story that was broadcast under his tenure which I don't know if you want to talk about that now or after Shada.
Well, now, because technically this would have been the last one. He didn't complete the he didn't complete Shadow.
Okay. We'll talk about that later then.
And also, there's another person's last story for well, there's 2 other people's last story for this technically, Ben.
I mean, if not counting Shada, I guess Douglas Adams as script editor.
And there's somebody else. Somebody else's last story is the Horns and Nimon. That's been doing this since we started this
Oh,
podcast, Ben.
Dudley Simpson.
This is the last one. His last hurrah, man.
Did he not do any music for Shada? Would that have
No,
been a later step that never
that
happened?
because that think about it in production. That's the last thing you're gonna do.
Damn.
You get the score in after it's like edited. So like that's like that is the very final stage of production, basically.
His first one was Planet of Giants. He's been doing this for like 15 years.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense why not Grant Williams, John Nathan Turner decided, no, it's time for a change, time to give this show a new energy. Which, of course, if you want to give a show new energy, you gotta give him a new composer.
Off the top of your head, do you know who succeeded him in at least in the short
No,
term?
I think basically from this point on, it's gonna be how it's more like was it was kind of like this in the Third Doctor era. It's a little bit more random where it's not like just one person doing a majority like Dudley did for the Fourth Doctor in particular. Um, it's going to be much more of this person did this episode and then the new composer the next episode.
Mhm.
But definitely gets the big thing is it gets more synthy as you could imagine since it's
In the
now in the
80s, yeah.
80s.
That's kind of too bad. So much of this show's identity, I feel like, is because of Dudley Simpson.
Oh yeah, it's he is definitely like his DNA is in the show and is the probably him and Murray Gold for the new series definitely the two people that contribute a lot to just Doctor Who as a whole, just their scores.
Yeah. Well, Cam, what did you think of the Horns of Nimon?
I hated it.
Hated it.
I hated it. It was like we've said many times on this podcast, especially the past 2 seasons. Something is at its worst when it's just boring and dull. And Horns and Diamond is one of those stories where it's for majority, except for one actor, that is giving it his all.
Saul Deeds?
Boring and dumb. Not boring and dumb, boring and dull.
Yeah.
Nothing else much to say. What did you do? Do you differ on my opinions
I
on this, or
mean,
are you the same?
hate is a strong word, but it's another, I think, failure of a story. A third in a row, which is not good. Um,
No, it's season 17 is very weird in that respect of just
it's
you
got
you
the
you, you s-
absolute best story
yeah.
and then a bunch of random bullshit.
But like even like I think Destiny of the Daleks isn't the worst. I'll take a Destiny of the Daleks over
Oh,
Horns and
yeah,
Nyman. It's still there's still at least some interesting things going
but it
on
goes
and
downhill so fast.
yeah.
I saw such a shame
But
because
I think it just showcases that Douglas Adams is just he's a nobody is ever gonna say Douglas Adams is not a great writer. I just don't think he's that great of a script editor.
yeah.
And I think this story also kind of proves that Anthony Reid, for the past season and a half, is also just not really that great of a science fiction Doctor Who writer. So it was just hard for him to script write just because it's not like I don't think maybe it's fair it's not fair to say because you only have one and a half stories written by him, but like then both stories I don't really love.
Yeah.
So it's just like the I feel like the show is just kind of inconsistent these past couple of seasons just because it's like you got for a show like Doctor Who, you need a strong person being like the script editor, being able to like take a kind of a half-ass script and be able to punch it up to be a little bit stronger just because Doctor Who, being a more of an anthology show, is much more
Yeah,
reliant on a good script with big ideas.
you need someone higher up to bring some cohesion to things,
Yeah.
a consistent bar of quality, and yeah. Do you know, like, people love Romana too.
Yeah.
I really like her as well. I would say so far it's been a lot of not great stories that she's in. Do you know, is she really great in season 18?
No, because it's like Ben, you saw why everyone loves Romana too, and it's
Is
Destiny of the
City of Death?
Daleks and City of Death. Well, I think don't shit on Destiny of the Romana and
I'm
Destiny of the
not.
Daleks.
She's good.
She is still great in that episode because it's written by Douglas Adams. But like Douglas Adams writing for two Time Lords talking to each other is why people love Romana too.
Yeah.
I guess he also did Romana one, but they have the Romana and Tom back and forth is much more why I think people love the second one and this those two particular stories, and I guess Shada, you would put that in there too. But talking about Romana,
Yes.
I want to give a shout out. I feel like we were very strong the first two stories with Romana being like, oh no, she has great outfits. The past couple of stories, the outfits have been kind of stinkers. I feel
Yeah.
like this is the first time where her
This
outfits
is
get to be
another great outfit, I would say.
like a great like mini me to the Doctor outfit. Well,
Yeah.
not mini me, but like like she and her or he and him. Like I don't know what. There's a term for this that I'm forgetting. But like
It's a
they
good companion
matches
piece.
the Doctor very well.
Yes.
Like the red coat, it kind of looks John Pertwee-esque with
Doesn't
the.
she have, like, red gloves even?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. You know, I don't think this is a good story, but I think Romana here is okay. I
Yeah,
think she shows some more passion and independence. She has to kinda do things on her own more successfully, you know, protecting them kids.
which is good for Anthony Reid could have most definitely as the one of the people that helped create Romano One could have just wrote the character as Romano One, but he does make it more like a Romano Two.
Yeah,
Like you could imagine Mary Tam doing this story, you know?
not really. Yeah, and I think, especially at the beginning and the end, because in the middle, they're kind of apart a lot. I really like, the Doctor and Romana together, their bond as well.
Yeah. No,
They continue to have great chemistry in a sea of meh stuff.
yeah. I totally agree that that you can definitely tell that there was something going on between the two of them.
When did they get married?
I think like basically 1980. 1980. And they divorced in 82. As Tom Baker would say, those are two very strong years of love.
The couple married in December 1980.
Must have been awkward for the people on the crew for like for coming back for season 18. You got John Nathan Turner there, and then it's just like, hey, I married my co-star.
Well, no. They would have got married probably after she already had left. Because
Well,
if they got married, Wikipedia says December 1980. Warriors Gate was broadcast January 3rd.
uh, so they kept it professional.
Yeah, they waited till she was gone, and then Tom swooped in.
Well, yeah, but like, do we know when uh, you know when he proposed to her?
Oh, that's true. Marriage and proposal, happen differently.
But 2-year marriage, I assume that proposal was probably pretty quick.
Oof. I'm on Wikipedia her Lala Ward's Wikipedia. Ward said in 2004 that her long friendship with Douglas Adams, with whom she worked with on Doctor Who, meant more to her and was more valuable and more enduring than her marriage to Baker.
That is hilarious. Okay, Ben.
Oh, and Douglas Adams also introduced her to her second husband.
Interesting.
So I guess they were like pretty good friends.
They must have been. But like it seems like Tom and Douglas also got on pretty well too. Like there was they did something else together after this, after Doctor Who. It's a shame that I could imagine Tom Baker doing an audiobook for Douglas Adams' book. It's a shame
Oh,
that he didn't get Tom Baker to do that
I
because
would pay
he would have
good
been good.
money to hear him read Hitchhiker's Guide.
He did a Christmas Carol. There's a Christmas Carol audiobook of Tom Baker, and like that just sounds like I need to do that next Christmas because that just sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I bet. Okay, we've barely talked about Horns of Nimon. What else is there?
There
What do you think of
is
K9? I know you're the biggest K9
well,
hater.
like I don't really remember that much from K9 for the story, but do you remember that much from K9? I just remember at the end that they used him to get out of the maze.
Yeah.
That's basically the biggest moment of K9 in this
He's
serial, I
out
could
of
say.
he's not there for most of it and out of
Yeah.
commission for the rest of it, where he blows the whistle, K9 gets captured and disassembled and then later reassembled and he finally gets there. But we gotta talk about the whole trio. So,
All right, Ben.
we
But now that we're past the trio, let's
what
talk about
about
Graham
which
Crowden.
who?
Graham Crowden is the Soldred.
Soldeed?
Sodid, sorry. Sodid, Ben, let's
Uh,
talk about Sodid.
he
Wait, before you get on, do you know the behind the scenes story about this actor?
no.
This guy, Graham Cruden, was offered the role by Barry Letts of the Fourth Doctor. So this man could have been Doctor Who,
Interesting.
but he said that he didn't want to commit himself. But that's why he was gonna be an older actor, so that's why they brought in Harry Sullivan.
I can picture it. He would not be a very different doctor from Tom Baker, of course. I don't know, that's weird.
Because he's this is pretty much in the fandom considered to be the most over top performance of all of Doctor Who. Or at
Yeah.
least one up on there. Mount there's a Mount Rushmore for over the top acting in Doctor Who. There's a lot of Doctor Who over the top acting, and there is a Mount Rushmore, and he is on that Mount
Oh,
Rushmore.
for sure. He's up there.
And
Yeah.
especially that
He,
moment, his death moment is iconic. Where he pulls the levels and he's like, "You fools!"
mhm. Yeah. Way over the top. Definitely crossing that line from menacing to funny. Um, which that's good. It doesn't save the story though. I don't love Soldeed,
See, my
but
my biggest complaint. Oh, sorry. Were you in the middle of
go
something?
go ahead.
My biggest complaint is we didn't get enough of him. I honestly, Ben, this is my thoughts on Horn and Nyman. Get rid of the Nyman.
Yeah,
They are the most boring thing about this story. Uninteresting characters, and also like the design of them is horrendous.
but
We'll get more
then
into it later.
then we wouldn't get him saying, "Oh, Nimon."
But if this guy was just the bad guy the whole entire time, and he just wanted to like blow up the world or some shit, and like the doctor had to face him, and it was just literally it was just the doctor facing against this guy. This story could be more enjoyable. but because we have those Nyman in the fold, it just becomes so dull.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. Let's
Because, like, yes, it's on that line, like you said, of like, is this bad or is this fun? And like, I have fun with this performance because it's so fucking goofy.
yeah, these brief moment of enjoyment in a not enjoyable story. But yeah, if the Nyman weren't here and it was just Saldeed, that I think would be preferable.
Just wanting to take over the universe or some shit like that, and it was just Tom having to talk him out of it
Hmm.
and stop his plan. It would be fun. But instead, we got these black. How would you describe it? Just these men that are painted in black with these awful, huge, gigantic masks covering them. That again, it's one of those times things that we mentioned a lot on this podcast. Of masks are great they when it's like more of a prosthetic, where this is literally a full on mask, and it's not a good mask.
No,
It's
it's
so gigantic.
yeah, it's one I've only said this a couple times, but I'll say it now. It's one of the ones where if you can't do it good, this is one you shouldn't have tried. Like it's just so not good. It just looks like they got this big old thing on their head. It doesn't. And a little bit on their back, it like goes down like a lot. Probably because it's so heavy. They have to
Yeah.
like put some weight on their back so that they don't fall forward.
There's one guy that doesn't look as bad on because I think he's a little bit more has a little bit more bulk on him. But there's one guy in particular that is very skinny, and he looks awful because the head looks even bigger on the skinny body.
Yeah. And they clearly cannot see out of them. Like the actors are like arms outstretched, like taking tentative steps forward because they can't see where they're going. It's not good.
No.
I shouldn't have even tried. Just done all
Horns of
these.
Nimon. Catch us next week, guys.
Honestly, I don't even know what else we could talk about because none of the other characters are interesting at all.
No.
Like, do you like the kids? The
No.
Do you like the co-pilot who literally doesn't even have a name and gets killed? On the wiki, there's a name, but it's only from the novelization. It's never said in the story or the
Oh god, how
credits.
how does Horns of Nimon read?
Probably not good. Um, I mean, maybe Terrence Dick saved it. No.
I think you would have to be kind of a god to be able to like and also you have to imagine Terrence Dix isn't rewriting these too drastically. He's pumping these out like the no tomorrow. He's got a month to write this book. Not, probably like I don't even know if it was a full month. It was probably a couple weeks to write this book. So like in and out, Ben, in and out.
Let's see. Uh, in terms of release, Horns of Nimon came out mid-October 1980, and the previous uh novelization to release was Nightmare of Eden in August 21. So he had like 2 months.
But again, who knows? He could have been doing another book in between that time that was not Doctor Who related. Like this could have, and then like how much of that time is just like making the actual book?
Oh, like I suppose you have to like get a cover artist and you have to like print the book and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, let's say a month.
Like it's a month or a couple of weeks he took to write these books.
Wow.
But also it probably it was probably actually not that bad for him because he's used to TV where it's like I gotta come up with something next week.
Yeah. I mean, he did enough of them. I'm sure he got into a rhythm. I
Oh yeah.
I doubt he's like stretching himself to the limit of his endurance for years.
Oh no. This the like the target books. He did so many of them, but it must have been like he must have enjoyed doing them because it must have been easy. All right, I got the script. I wonder if he read the script in entirety and then wrote it, or did he just go like, all right, page one, I'm gonna adapt page one, page two, all right, then I'm gonna adapt page two.
I mean, depending on it, some of them are more just like this is the script. There's some that he adds more to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Probably
like
did we probably added more to like the third Doctor ones where he was more familiar with the stories,
yeah,
I would imagine.
like in Doctor Who and the Horns of Nimon, the TARDIS wiki says, there's an extended prologue where Soldeed meets the Nyman for the first time.
That would be interesting.
Uh, there's references to the events of Underworld that
Which
expands
yeah,
on
I
the
was
ending and where some of the one-off characters end up.
I was gonna mention that, Ben. Uh, there is kind of a connection to Underworld of like using mythology.
Yeah, I guess that's something we should mention. So this has very clear and obvious Minotaur in the maze connection.
Which God, Anthony Reed just loved must have loved myths.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the only reason why the Nyman exists is because they wanted to have a Minotaur.
On the BBC of 1979 or well now our 1980s budget.
Well, the budget would have been spent in 79, so only came out the last one or two parts in 80s.
But yeah, is there anything else before we get to cliffhangers, Ben? I don't know if you could tell, dear audience, but we aren't big fans of this
Yeah.
one.
Worst special effect, Nyman. Best special
Yeah.
effect, maybe like the TARDIS kind of light bridge
Y- Yeah.
in the first part. That's fine. Impact, not that much. There's one Eighth Doctor Big Finish story with a Nyman, part of the main range.
Also, just the legendary. It had the performance by uh the performance by Graham Croden is just legendary.
Mhm.
Legendary by the fandom.
And cliffhangers. Uh, one. There's a planet headed straight for the TARDIS.
All right, I need to talk about this one, Ben.
Yeah.
I have thoughts.
Okay.
This is one that is so let down by the production. Cause like the production, the director, the even Dudley Simpson, there's a way that you could have done this cliffhanger. It could have been big and momentum, and it's like, oh my god, we see the I think it's a meteorite or is it something else?
Uh,
The meteorite heading toward
I
the ship?
think they specifically say a planet.
A planet. But it's the planet heading towards the TARDIS, right? And like you could have had the thing on the TV like be like fast and have like be like a big zoom on the doctor hugging K9 and like have big like da 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 like have like make it a big moment. Instead, it's so like played, just like oh it's crashing into us. Oh no, K9. There's no dramatic tension to this moment in cliffhanger at all.
Yeah.
But of course, that is also revealed later on the next episode. It kind of has to be because it's like, oh yeah, the cop out of this one is like, oh, we have like a minute or two before this actually hits us.
Yeah. And then get out of it by rotating the TARDIS in space very quickly so that instead of just crashing into them, it
Hmm.
like r- s- pushes the TARDIS into that rotation so that it just spirals away, which I guess maybe that's how physics works. I don't know.
It's Doctor Who, man.
Is there not a scientific advisor for the Doctor Who?
Well, Kip Pedler, I think, was. That's how we got the 7.
I see. Second one, the Nyman kills the co-pilot, and then he goes "Rah!" to Romana and the kids.
Did you piss your pants during this moment, Ben?
It was fully soaked. And then third, the doctor accidentally sends the capsule away with Romana inside, and Soldeed uh, threatens the doctor,
That's all I have to
which
say.
I guess is the best one,
Yeah.
technically. There's a little moment of like grief in the doctor that was palpable, but eh,
But I see shadow on the horizon. Let's
all
just get
right.
through this.
Um, so Cam, how would you rate this story?
Okay,
Is
let me
this
get the rankings up.
worse than I was gonna say worse than Underworld, but you rated Power of Kroll even lower than Underworld. Are you gonna rate this
Yeah.
lower than Kroll?
No, because it's like again, it's I think basically it's pretty much is this better or worse than Invasion of Time? I prefer the Invasion of Time to this. So I'm gonna go 5.5. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just dull and
So
okay. It's like
you like Creature from the
it's a
Pit
five and a
better?
half, just a little bit better. At least I had Tom with the with the creature from the pit. Like at least that was somewhat fun.
Uh, better than Underworld, better than Kroll. Yeah, I guess I'll do. It's like a 5.2 for an average rating of 5.35.
Okay.
And Doctor Who magazine does a poll every now and then, every couple of years here. In 2023, this was ranked 40th. In 2014, this was ranked 39th. And in 2009 and 1998, it was also ranked 40th. So pretty consistent. There was one year where people were like, maybe this is better than Megalos. And then they were like, no, it isn't. Megalos is better.
And in 2014, it ranked in terms of
So
the
this
full
is like a
poll.
second to last to be completely clear, right above Underworld.
The full poll, it ranked number 23rd, so above the Time Monster. I mean, sorry, the Time Monster's above it, and under it is the Underwater Menace,
You what number did you say?
number 223.
I just heard 23.
Yeah, it's number 23. I'm still looking forward to. I go to a website for the 2014 poll every episode, or sometimes I pull up the magazine. Um, but uh, but I'm so excited for eventually, Ben. The default of my thing is not going to be to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
That's how it's been for the past 2 seasons.
I guess Sashada, next episode, ladies and gentlemen, was halted partway through production. There was a strike. Do you know, is it actor, writer?
It was production, and I think it was stage, and
But there was a strike. They stopped and they never went back to it. So it was left incomplete. So they finished it in 2017. They brought all the original actors back to do uh, voice acting over animation. Um, but so you could kind of say we have that one now. That's kind of the end. But for, you know, 47 years, uh, this story was the finale of season 17 and the Graham Williams era as producer. So, should we talk about that now, really quick?
I guess it's gonna be quick because we've kind of been talking about this whole episode.
So it's
Yeah.
season 17, City of Death, great. Destiny, good. The rest,
Destiny, okay.
Destiny, okay. The rest, not good.
I just meh. to to E. It's like it's all in the fives and the sixes with the rest of the mid chunk of season 17.
If you let
That's a shame.
me calculate an average real quick.
Of 17 or the Graham Williams era.
I can do both. I was just gonna do 17
You could just do 17, man.
already. So the average rating for season 17, not including Shada, for Cam, yours is 6.86. And for mine, it's 6.98 for an average of 6.92, which technically makes this the best of the Graham Williams era. But really, City of Death is just like such an outlier.
Yeah.
Without that, it's like I'm sure this would be pretty close to the bottom.
It's a shame. The 70s was such a consistent era of Doctor Who. One time, we're gonna do. I don't know when we're gonna post it, but we're gonna do a top 10 of the 70s soon.
Yeah.
But the 70s era is such a consistent era of the show. Probably one of the most consistent of the show's entire run. And it's just a shame that like the last 3 seasons of the 70s era, it's just so inconsistent. Because like 7 years leading up to that was all very consistent Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So it just kind of falls. So and like I think there's a somewhat has to do with just Graham Williams not being the most interesting producer for the show.
Yeah. I think
I also think it's just there's a element to it of just the show kind of lost its steam, and also like again production issues with just the government and this BBC not having as much money as it did previously.
yeah, different vision for the show and one that is just I mean, do you think it's the case where we're looking at it 45 years in the future as 20 something millennials? Do you think kids in the 70s would have loved the Nimon as an example?
Supposedly, because you go to YouTube and they're posted all season 17 on YouTube. You look at the comments of this and just like, I love this as a kid and I love it still now. This is great. And I'm just like, wow, that's so interesting. That there's people out there that like they grew up on it and they just are like, oh, this is great. I used to watch this BBC as a kid. This is awesome. I used to watch this on PBS. Like this is my shit, and this is still my shit. I was like, well, this is Nightmare of Eden, guys.
Yeah. I guess we're
This isn't like Terror of
Gen Z,
Zygons.
not millennials.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I mean, every story is probably someone's favorite, but comparing it to, with what came before this, the Graham Williams era is just really disappointing.
And it's a shame to 17 of like I think that's why Shada always hanged over it, just because it's like, oh, that was gonna be another Douglas Adams story. And it got canceled. So it's just like you have this story, you have this season that has one gem, and just that hope of just being like, we're almost at a second gem.
Yeah. Well, so be sure to tune in next week where we will talk about the lost episode of Shada, or yeah, Shada, uh, which would have been broadcast at the end of the season. So tune in for that. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.